I told you it was very unique, isn't it? As you can see, it's fully covered. This aircraft was originally built as a sort of touring aircraft, and it's very comfortable inside as well. I'm sat inside it, there's loads of room, bubble canopy gives you great visibility, and it's even got a heater.
It's a lot more air.
You see what I mean by once it comes downwind, it really does speed up.
Here, coming from our right,
very responsive on the controls,
ladies and gentlemen.
And that whole rotor blade flapping around on top, that's just free lift, baby. It is a very, very smart design. It was the first rotary aircraft ever designed. It was designed back in 1920. Or was it 23? I'll look that up. And it was way before the helicopter was invented. So you can see the Rotax engine powering that propeller at the back of the aircraft. So it's what we call a pusher aircraft. It's not pulling the aircraft through the air, it's pushing it through the air. Flight speeds anywhere between 0 and 120 miles an hour. So that's a good cruising speed for this type of aircraft. And because you're enclosed as well, it's very aerodynamic. It's a comfortable way to get around the country. I could have done with it on Friday night when I was driving up here instead of 7 hours on the M5 and the M6. And as you can see, responds very well to the rudder. Look at the tail rudder at the back. He's using his feet to get the aircraft to swing. The Rotax 914 engine throwing out a massive 115 horsepower. That's not a lot, but more than enough because this airframe is so light. This aircraft was designed back in 2009, certified by the CAA as late as 2011, but over 1,000 of these have been made and sold worldwide. And you know, like you live in a dream world where you say, one day I'll have my own airplane and I'll have my own airfield out the back of my house. Well, with this, you literally could. It's not massively expensive and it takes off in about 10 meters. So you don't need, you can literally take off in your garden. Depending on the weather and the wind, anywhere between 10 to 70 meters for a takeoff roll. People are putting it through its paces there with a bit of crazy flying. Clearly, no fly-by-wire system on board. And yeah, it was 1923 when they were invented. And that was only 20 years after the Wright brothers, so it was a very, very early form of edging down on the ground. Spiraling climb. And it has a decent climb rate as well, 1,200 feet per minute.
Expensive, and it takes off in about 10 meters. So you don't.
And now we can see where it goes into the hover. He'll just point it into the wind and it just stops. Yesterday we had that like 30 knot wind, so it just hung there like a helicopter. I think today it's gusting about 10 if that.
People are putting it through its paces there with a bit of crazy flying.
But you can see even in the descent, there's no big jerky movements. It's a very controlled, you know, you can tell he's steering it all the way down. He's got more than enough lift.
It's 20 years after the Wright brothers, so it's very, very early.
So Sikorsky, when he invented the helicopter, he had obviously looked at the AutoGyro and thought, well, what if we power that helicopter? It's got those pilot headsets. There he goes, waving his big hand as he's coming by. Give him a big wave back.
At a certain amount of speed there, it's good. So you just pitch the aircraft down, keep the airflow up under over this.
Just look like a helicopter, doesn't it? When he's coming at you like that. It's like, oh, that's a helicopter. Oh, no, it's not. And of course, everyone recognises it from the Bond days. So there you go. A little bow, pitch the nose up, and exit stage left.
As well.
Thank you very much, Peter. What a gentleman's carriage that is.
Now
so,
we can see where it goes
coming up next.
Just point it into the wind and it just stops. Yesterday we had that like 30 knot wind, so it just hung there like a helicopter. I think today it's gusting about 10, if that. But you can see even in descent, there's no big jerky movements. It's a very controlled, you know, you can tell he's steering it all the way down. He's got more than enough lift. As I said, they were invented back in 1923, and the name AutoGyro was a trade name for the inventor of the aircraft. Nowadays, they're more known as gyrocopters or gyroplanes or autogyros. So Sikorsky, when he invented the helicopter, he had obviously looked at the AutoGyro and thought, well, what if we power that helicopter, that main rotor blade? And then instead of a pusher engine, we'll let the rotor blade do all the lifting. But then, of course, he had to put a tail rotor blade in to counteract the torque coming from the rotor. So as I said, that propeller at the back is just pushing the aircraft forward through flight. And also you'll notice when he flies, see how the rotor blade is tilted back a bit? That's to get the air to come up and flow through it. You don't want it flowing over it, you want it flowing through it. So when he pitches the aircraft forward, you'll notice the rotor blade will be almost flat. There you go, as he goes forward like that. So you need the air to flow through the rotor disc. You don't want it flowing over the rotor disc if you can help it. Got to say a big thanks to the sponsors for Calidus Aircraft, Runway HD VF4 flight navigation software. He's never lost. Cooley's flight equipment as well. And of course, it's very nice to have a set of Bose headphones when you're in your helicopter. So he's got those Bose pilot headsets. There he goes, waving his big hand as he's coming by. Give him a big wave back. He can see you when you wave. Don't be shy. So a big thanks to Peter Troy Davis and his Calidus AutoGyro. Very unique aircraft. Great to see it here. And as you can see, it can get up close and personal as well, because it's not one of the huge, more powerful aircraft. Watch as he comes back now in the center line for his final maneuver. Does look like a helicopter, doesn't it? When it's coming at you like that. It's like, oh, that's a helicopter. Oh, no, it's not. And of course, everyone recognizes it from the Bond days. There you go. A little bow, pitch the nose up, and exit stage left. Thank you very much, Peter. What a gentleman's carriage that is. So, coming up next is the Chipmunks. Now, I've got a lot of time for Chipmunks. I served in the Air Training Corps, and this was my first ever introduction to flying. Was a Chipmunk. The Peter's not finished yet. I think he left something on the beach, just get back together, and now he's heading off. Definitely going back this time. So a big thanks to everybody who's reaching out today on Instagram. It's Joe Airshow. The message coming from Kirsty Ann Murray. She wants to know, when's the Chinook coming back to the air show again? That's a good shout. I haven't seen the Chinook. I don't know if it's that XRF T10 is absolutely genuine inside. You want to see it. It's like it's just come out of the factory. It just looks so good. And the other one is a 1953.
We love the Lancaster and the red arrows. Well, the red arrows are still coming up, Harley, so you hang on there. So here they come, running in from the right for the one and only pass, or Chipmunk pair. John Hurl at the controls leading them. And you can see that classic red and white paint scheme on the leading aircraft. John Hurley at the controls. That is a
maintenance and NDT work on these aircraft to keep them valid, especially for display work. But as I said earlier, think about this, 70 plus years. I hope when I'm 70 plus, I'll still be flying around the beach of Blackpool. Of course, a classic tail dragger configuration, fixed undercarriage. And because you didn't have a lot of power as well, it was pretty docile on the ground. It's pretty hard to ground loop them. Visibility once airborne is okay. It's not the most spacious cockpit inside. I remember constantly banging my helmet and foam dome on the sides of it. But as you can see, another gentleman's carriage. Now, we don't see enough of them flying anymore. Even they were very popular when they came out of service with the Royal Air Force, and they went into public use. And they were, instead of people buying one set of Cessnas and things like that, it was reasonable to buy one of these because the engines and the avionics were pretty rudimentary, so it wasn't exactly expensive. And a lot of ex-Royal Air Force personnel bought a lot of Chipmunks. But as technology moved on and the mountain of spares dwindled, just getting parts for these aircraft now is incredibly difficult and expensive. Now I think the Air Training Corps moved on from Chipmunks into the Grop 105 that you can go flying in now when you join those. As I said, can't recommend that organisation enough. Did 2 years in it, learned a lot about aviation and the Royal Air Force. So if you're interested in a career and to go flying, I couldn't think of anything better than going talking to the Air Training Corps.
And now he's pulling up. John's pulling the aircraft up, getting a little bit of height.